At every step we take in life, we often feel lost in the face of difficulties, doubts, and uncertainties that seem to envelop us like a dense fog. In this silent silence of difficult moments, when the forces seem exhausted and the heart squeezes with anguish, it is common for us to seek a deeper connection with something that goes beyond words, something that brings peace, hope, and a little comfort. It is at this moment that the messages coming from the heart, charged with love and an inexplicable energy, gain a special meaning, almost like a bridge between the material and the spiritual world. Many people feel this subtle presence, this inner voice that whispers words of encouragement and unconditional love, as if it were a reminder that we are never alone, even in the darkest moments. These messages often come in unexpected forms, whether through dreams, signs, or someone who suddenly appears in our story to offer us words that seem tailor-made to comfort us. However, there is a particular beauty when these messages come from those we love the most, especially from our mothers. The mother figure carries an energy of care, protection, and love that is unique and incomparable. Mothers often have a keen perception of our feelings, even when we try to hide behind masks of strength or apparent serenity. They know our deepest fears, our inner doubts, and our hidden emotions, and with a unique sensitivity, they can convey words that touch the soul. When a mother shares a message, be it a simple phrase, an advice, or an expression of love, it goes beyond the superficial meaning, touching that most delicate point within each of us, the one that we often try to hide out of pride or for fear of appearing vulnerable. In this context, the connection with this message of a mother becomes an opportunity to open the heart in a way that is often denied to us in the hectic routine of everyday life. Perhaps we have experienced challenges that have made us doubt our own worth or the path we choose to follow. Perhaps in moments of doubt, a word from a mother alone could renew our strength and rekindle the hope that seemed to fade. And it is precisely this silent force, this energy that overflows with the genuine love of a mother, that makes possible a deep emotional opening, capable of transforming the way we face our difficulties. At the same time, this message is not just an expression of words, it is a manifestation of a spiritual connection, a kind of channel that helps us understand that motherly love and heavenly care are always present, even if sometimes it seems that we are separated or forgotten. It is as if, through these words, the angels, beings of light, who act in our lives in subtle ways, are sending us a reminder that we are protected, loved, and guided by invisible forces that only want our good. Thus, by opening our hearts to this message, we also make room to receive this energy of protection, hope, and love that sustains us in the most difficult moments. This special message, then, is not just a gesture of affection. It works as a true gift for the soul, an opportunity to connect with the divine and with maternal love, which is manifested through words loaded with light and meaning. It is something that transcends time, overcomes the barriers of rational understanding, and penetrates deep into our being, awakening forgotten emotions and strengthening our faith in life, hope, and the strength that comes from within. Thus, each of these messages has the power to open an inner door, inviting us to listen to what is purest, truest, and most beautiful within us, and to feel in a more intense way the presence that someone who loves us unconditionally never abandons us, even when it seems distant. And by receiving this message, we can realize that motherly love, combined with the essence of angels, is an eternal bridge that connects us to the divine and helps us move forward with courage and hope. When reflecting on the depth of a mother's love, it is essential to recognize that its essence goes far beyond the simple act of caring. It represents a silent force that shapes our identity, even when we are unaware of that influence. This influence is like an invisible current that accompanies our steps, shaping our values, our perceptions of the world, and our capacity for resilience. When we feel a message from a mother, It often awakens a dormant awareness that our roots are rooted in this universe of eternal care, even if routine leads us to forget it momentarily. In this sense, the maternal message works as a mirror that reflects not only love, but also our purest and truest essence, often forgotten in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. In addition, it is important to realize how communication between mother and child creates a kind of universal language, which transcends words and culture. This communication, often silent, is a vehicle of energy that passes from generation to generation, loaded with symbols and emotions that cannot be completely verbalized. When a mother conveys a feeling-laden message, she's not just using words. She's sending a vibration that echoes through time, reinforcing our connection to something greater. These words often act as an anchor amid the storms of life, providing emotional stability and increasing our awareness that even in adversity, there are invisible forces to which we can cling. Thus, the act of listening to a maternal message, especially in moments of crisis, works as a spiritual therapy that strengthens the spirit and revives hope. Another aspect that deserves attention is the internal transformation brought about by these moments of deep connection. Every word of a mother keeps a seed of change, which can germinate in moments of reflection and awakening of internal forces that seemed dormant. These words are like little keys that unlock portals of self-compassion, courage, and determination. By opening the heart to receive a genuine message, we can notice how our emotions, often blocked by frustrations, begin to give way to more compassionate understanding of ourselves. With this, we develop a new vision of our challenges, no longer facing them as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and learning, driven by the unconditional love that we hear in the mother's voice. What's more, by understanding the impact of this communication, we can realize the importance of cultivating a conscious relationship with our own emotions. This means being attentive to the ways in which we interpret the words we receive, absorbing their essence without getting carried away by negative or limiting interpretations. In this process, the mother's message becomes a bridge that connects us to the feeling of acceptance, both external and internal, reinforcing the idea that we are worthy of affection and protection. This awareness favors emotional autonomy, while keeping alive the sacred bond of love that sustains us. Therefore, it is imperative to recognize that these messages represent an inexhaustible source of strength that can be triggered whenever we need it, functioning as a reminder that at the heart of our difficulties, there is a benevolent force that surrounds us with its light and propels us forward. Finally, there is an intrinsic beauty in the way these messages become symbols of hope, which linger beyond time and circumstance. Every word of a mother is a seed of faith that, when planted in our hearts, blooms in moments of doubt, illuminating the way in an unexpected way. When we allow ourselves to accept these messages, we are not only receiving an act of love, but also accessing a source of ancestral wisdom. This wisdom often resonates within us in the most difficult moments, helping us to understand that true love is not restricted to words, but is manifested in our ability to welcome, forgive, and trust in the strength that sustains us. Thus, a mother's message becomes a spark that ignites our hope, a light that never goes out even in the densest darkness, reaffirming that we are loved by a divine force that surrounds us in an eternal embrace, protecting us, guiding us, and strengthening our journey of life. When contemplating the multiple weaves that we have intertwined so far, it is evident that the human heart is a kind of delicate mosaic, where fragments of love, hope, pain, and renewal fit together in a unique and silent way. These ideas we explore reveal a kind of invisible harmony, as if every thread, however subtle, contributes to a larger fabric that sustains our emotional existence. The strength that is born from the bond with the mother figure, combined with the presence of angels as silent guardians, creates a space in which the soul finds resonance, often without understanding exactly where this feeling of protection comes from, or that something greater surrounds us. In this plot of intangible connections, the understanding emerges that our deepest emotions are not restricted to the superficiality of everyday life, but represent a bridge that connects us to a broader dimension of care and meaning. As we reflect on this journey of discovery, we can see how the messages we receive, often filled with hope, strength, and unconditional love, work like seeds planted in the fertile soil within us. They germinate delicately, often without us realizing it, awakening dormant emotions, invigorating our faith, and strengthening our ability to withstand the storms of life. It is as if every word, every gesture of affection becomes a spark capable of igniting a flame of hope that remains lit even in the darkest nights. Thus, the strength that emerges from these experiences is not only sufficient to sustain us momentarily, it also fosters a deeper transformation, shaping a more compassionate perception of ourselves and the world around us. In this confluence of ideas, we realize that this connection between maternal love, the presence of beings of light, and our own ability to welcome emotions resembles a subtle symphony, where each note contributes to a more comprehensive understanding of our journey. This invisible melody reverberates within us, inviting us to trust in the continuity of this benevolent energy that surrounds us, even when reason seems silent or when circumstances challenge our resistance. It is as if, immersed in this stream of sensations and perceptions, we see life not only as a sequence of events, but as a fabric woven by invisible threads of love, hope, and renewal, capable of sustaining our truest essence. Thus, the recognition of this web of connection propels us to a more open and receptive posture, not only to the messages we receive, but to the very invitation to accept that we are part of something greater, which transcends the limitations of rational understanding. As we move forward in this reflection, it becomes clear that the journey of opening the heart is not an isolated journey, but a crossing that leads us to a deeper understanding of our own existence. In this movement, we learn that our emotions, when received sincerely, become channels of transformation, capable of dispelling the fog of doubt and illuminating paths previously hidden by insecurity. And at the same time, we understand that this connection to the divine, to motherly love, and to beings of light, functions as a constant reminder that hope and strength work together to shape a narrative of renewal. Thus, by interweaving these ideas, we glimpse a wider horizon, where emotions become bridges of light, and each moment of openness is an opportunity to dive deeper into the essence of what we are really able to recognize, value, and cultivate in our lives. When we consider this convergence of senses and experiences, we realize that the next step is not only in intellectual understanding, but in the willingness to live this connection in a more conscious and intense way. This journey of self-knowledge and faith resembles a crossing through calm waters, in which every movement of navigation reinforces the confidence that we are being guided by a benevolent and eternal force. Hope, then, becomes an invisible compass, whose direction points to the reminder that this entire network of love, care, and light was not created to abandon us, but to sustain us with a resilience that is born from the deepest of our hearts. And so, as we advance along these inner paths, we acquire the courage to welcome what is most subtle and true in our essence, ready for the end of these reflections to be revealed, not only as a conclusion, but as a continuity of all that we have already begun to understand.